They didn't stop till the wee hours of the morning. That meant fans and players alike were sent home without baseball. But that means today the players are back, and the Braves and the Brewers have a doubleheader today, and it's coming up next. It's a beautiful day for baseball in Atlanta. In fact, it's so pretty we're going to play two. It's a doubleheader today between the Milwaukee Brewers and the Atlanta Braves. And all season long, Atlanta Braves baseball on Peachtree TV and Fox Sports South is being presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff, the low price. And good afternoon, everybody. Joe Simpson along with Tom Glavine. We're here for the duration today. We'll have both games for you. And for the Atlanta Braves and the Milwaukee Brewers, the pitching matchups for this doubleheader are on schedule for what we expected for games 2 and 3 of the series. Marco Estrada, who beat the Braves in Milwaukee, will go in the first game for Milwaukee against Tommy Hanson. Zach Greinke will make his Brewers debut in game 2 against Tim Hudson. And for Tommy Hanson, his last start in San Diego was a thing of beauty.
Yeah, really good. His last 2 starts have been fantastic, but his last start in San Diego in particular, his best of the year. 7 innings, 4 hits, no runs, a walk and 10 strikeouts, and really got back to doing, I think, what he's been talking about having to do, which is dominate with his fastball, establish his fastball, mix in that real good breaking ball, and he had it all working out in San Diego.
He's only given up 1 run in his last 14 innings. We hope that continues today. And what else so another thing we hope continues today is good bat work by the Braves of late. They've started off May real hot, and we'll talk about the bat work when we come back. Fields, we get set for the start of this doubleheader today. Brooks Conrad obliging some fans down by the tarp, giving some autographs on a cool but breezy day here at Turner Field. And for the Braves bats, Tom, May has gotten off to a good start, but it goes back really 10 days ago.
Yeah, it really does. But, we've been talking about it all year long. We knew these guys were going to swing the bat better than they did the first part of the season. And And you just knew that guys were going to start to come around. Dan Uggla's starting to swing the bat real well. Alex Gonzalez has come up big lately with key hits like he's done this weekend. Nate McLeod's been swinging it well. David Ross helps every time he's in there. So they're, as a group, they're really starting to get it going.
And they really bumped up their average runs per game, up over 5 now over this 7-3 stretch. Well, it's just about time to kick this doubleheader off. Fans continue to file in here. Tommy Hanson on the mound for the Braves. And Tom Glavine and Joe Simpson will have all the play-by-play story for you when we come back. Baseball is brought to you in part by Academy Sports and Outdoors, by AT&T, by Delta Airlines, by the Georgia Lottery, and by Hardee's. Welcome back to Turner Field. The Braves getting ready to take the field here for the first of 2 today. The Braves won Game 1 of this series by a score of 6-2. They'll try to make it another doubleheader sweep. They swept one earlier this year from the Mets. And here's the lineup for Ron Renicky and the Brewers today. Leading it off in Game 1 will be Ricky Weeks. Niger Morgan is in center field. Batting third, the National League April Player of the Month, Ryan Braun. Prince Fielders at first base. Casey McGee at third base. A change from what was going to be last night's lineup. Instead of Corey Hart in right field for Game 1, it'll be Mark Kotze. Jonathan Lucroy will do the catching. Also another change, Craig Counsell will start at shortstop instead of Yuniesky Betancourt, and Marco Estrada is on the mound, and that lineup will face Tommy Hanson here in Game 1.
Yeah, Tommy Hanson making his 7th start on the year. The big right-hander is 3-3 with a .257 earned run average, and as we talked about in the open, his last 2 starts have been good. His last start is best of the year, coming off a 7-inning, no-run, 10-strikeout performance out in San Diego, but to me, he's really starting to get it going here, and he can be a dominant pitcher, and he's shown that lately. And I think early in the year, some of the things you were hearing him talk about, and maybe some of the people on the team, was just getting back to being aggressive and establishing that fastball. And I think he's done that his last 2 starts, and it's really made his breaking ball that much more effective.
Sure has. Let's take a look at the defense behind them here for Game 1. The outfield will be Prado, McLeod, and Hayward from left to right. Third to first, Jones, Gonzalez, Uggla, and Freddie Freeman. And doing the catching will be Brian McCann, who's back in there today, the first game of the doubleheader. It is a little breezy here today and a little cooler after the rain, and the front went through last night. Temperature 64 degrees at game time. Very low humidity, but the wind out of the north-northwest at 18 miles an hour. That means it's blowing in mostly from left field. Balls hit the right field toward the right field corner might be helped a little bit. But anything hit to left or left center is going to have to be hit hard if you want to have a chance to get it out of here.
Should have picked up some rocks on the way here. My notes are blowing all over the place up here.
There's your umpiring quartet for Game 1. Gary Cedarstrom is the crew chief. He'll be behind the plate. Mike Estabrook has been called up from the minor leagues, and he will work at first base. Adrian Johnson at second base. Fielden Culbreth is at third. And for Game 2, Lance Barksdale will probably be behind the plate, but these days they do a good thing on doubleheaders. If you work behind the plate, you don't have to work Game 2 as a case for Cedarstrom, and you don't have to work Game 1 if you're Barksdale, so that works out just fine. Ricky Weeks will lead it off. 2 for 4 in Game 1 of this series on Monday night. And he's hitting an even 300 with 6 homers. And the first pitch of the game is in there. Hansen took a loss against the Brewers on April 7th in Milwaukee, pitched into the 6th inning, gave up only 3 runs and lost 4-2.
He struggled a little bit in his career against the Brewers, 1-3 with a 4.02 ERA in 5 starts. So, hey, Gallardo had the Braves number, and they turned that around, and hopefully Tommy can turn things around on his end against the Brewers tonight. Two and one.
Last night, the 3rd rain out for Milwaukee in 16 road games, what was going to be their 16th road game. Good breaking ball, 2-2.
Yeah, they're going to be wondering why everybody doesn't have a dome like they do.
Yeah, and they've had some bad weather to start the season up in Milwaukee, so without that retractable roof, they'd be in real trouble. 2-2 pitch to Weeks. Now tipped into McCann's glove, and a good start for Hansen.
There's that breaking ball that we talked about, and when you throw as hard as Tommy does, you know, obviously as a hitter you got to cheat a little bit. When you establish that you're able to throw that fastball for strikes, then the hitters have to be really conscious of trying to get to it, and if you cheat at all to get to that fastball and he throws that breaking ball, you don't have a chance.
Niger Morgan just off the disabled list. Starts in center field in Game 1. And he's part of our Georgia lottery, hitting the jackpot. Several guys in their order have had good numbers against Tommy Hansen, including Morgan, who's 7 for 15 against him. Niger had a real good series against the Braves in Milwaukee. He went 5 for 11. But right after that, in another collision at home plate, tried to run over Ryan Doman of the Pirates, who suffered a bad bruise in his quadricep muscle and had to go on the DL.
He's not the biggest guy in the world, so try to run over Mac, try to run over Doman. I think he's got to start realizing that he's not going to win those battles.
He certainly doesn't shy away from it, and something you would appreciate, an ex-junior hockey player.
Yeah. That explains it all.
There you go. That's off McCann, 2-2. Here's the collision for Morgan. This was against the Braves. And this was the one against Doman. Looked like he took a shin guard right in the thigh. Foul tipped, held on to by McCann. 2 straight strikeouts for Tommy Hansen.
Kind of a similar approach, too. Established the fastball, got ahead, and then buried that curveball down in the dirt, down and in on the left-hand hitter. That's typically where a left-handed hitter likes the ball, but what's good about that pitch is Tommy didn't shy away from the zone. He just threw it in a spot where he couldn't hit it.
And here's the April Player of the Month in the National League, Ryan Braun. Hit .367 in April with 10 homers. And drives that one to left center, but the wind may grab it and allow McLeod to run under it, and he does. And a 1-2-3 inning for Tommy Hansen. We go to the bottom of the first. Prado, Hayward, and Chipper due up. of the inning. And here's the Braves lineup for the bottom of the first. Gonzalez, Martin Prado will lead it off, followed by Jason Hayward and Chipper Jones. McCann, Ugla, and Freeman in the middle of the order. Alex Gonzalez, Nate McLeod, Tommy Hanson rounded out against Marco Estrada, the right-hander who's on the mound for the Brewers.
Making his sixth appearance of the year, fourth start, 1-0 with a 3-year earned run average. Fastball, curveball, changeup guy, likes to sink his fastball a little bit. Relies on his changeup as his out pitch. The key for him is going to be command. If he locates both fastball and off-speed pitches, then try to keep these guys off balance. His only major league win came against the Braves earlier this season.
He's pitched really well for him. Kind of a surprise. A guy that was just supposed to fill the bill in the absence of Zach Greinke while he was on the disabled list. But Estrada's pitched great baseball for him, including the win over the Braves in his last start against Cincinnati, which was actually 8 days ago. 7 innings, 2-hit ball, gave up 2 runs. Got no decision, though. The team won the game 3-2. Martin Prado leads off for Atlanta and takes ball 1. He's got a 6-game hitting streak, hitting .252. One and 1. Martin's not a guy that walks a lot anyway, Tom, but he hasn't drawn a walk in 7 games. I think that's part of the reason his average is still kind of hovering around 250.
Yeah, he doesn't. You're right. He's not your prototypical leadoff hitter in that he's going to draw a lot of walks or steal a lot of bases. He, generally speaking, hits his way on, but it's a good way to keep your average up. Take a few walks every now and then.
A good cut at that, 2-2. High 80s, low 90s in the fastball for Estrada. Born in Mexico, finished high school in Silmar, California. The appeal rings him up. What do you think?
The high fastball is tough to lay off. Yeah. Put it this way. If he was the Brewers, we'd want that.
Yeah, afraid he went. Jason Hayward, the batter. He was 0 for 2 in game 1 of this series, hitting .248, 7 homers. Jason accounted for most of the runs against Estrada in Milwaukee. When Estrada beat the Braves 5-4, it was a 1-run game because Hayward hit a 3-run homer off of him late.
Strange delivery. I wonder why he almost just doesn't pitch out of the stretch. Takes that pause when he gets on pretty much to the stretch position.
3-1. You'll see during the course of these 2 games that the Brewers defense on the infield lines up like this a lot, overshading people to the pull side. It's out of play. With McGee, the third baseman, well over toward shortstop. Counsell almost behind the bag at second.
They do it a lot with their outfielders too. A lot of their outfielders, they leave one of the gaps pretty much wide open. And if you can just shoot one in one of those gaps, you have a lot of time to run.
Payoff pitch. Fouled back and out of play. Braves did their pregame hitting for those that wanted some in the cage indoors. The Brewers hit on the field.
Well, for them, like you say, with the weather they've had in Milwaukee and whatnot, it's probably nice to get outside.
You know it. Walked him. Here's the defense behind Estrada today. Their outfield, Braun, Morgan, and Kotze from left to right. Around the horn, third to first, McGee, Counsell, Weeks, and Fielder. And the catcher out of Lafayette, Louisiana, is Jonathan Lucroy, who's back from the disabled list. He broke his right pinky finger in spring training. Chipper, the batter, 2 for 3 in game 1. bluff going, and Chipper sends one to center, and it hangs up in the wind. Jack Morgan's got to come in to get it. One pitch, one out for Jones, and Brian McCann will be the batter.
Yeah, you're pretty much going to have to shoot one out of the can into center field today to get it out of here.
Keep it low somehow, I guess, if you could hit it to straightaway left. And hope that the Stadium Club blocks off the wind a little bit. Brian McCann did not play in game 1. He's 3 for 13, though, on the homestand. A little low. Type shift on for Brian that was deployed for Jason Hayward. Changeup finds a mark. Estrada was originally drafted by the Nationals. He was a 6th round pick back in 2005 and wasn't getting anywhere in the Nationals organization, and they placed him on waivers, and the Brewers picked him up in February of last year.
He's aggressive. I mean, you know, like I said, if he's around the strike zone and commanding his pitches, he's going to get guys out. And you know, certainly whether it be in the rotation or maybe that long guy, swing guy, it's the kind of guy that could be very valuable to a pitching staff.
Big lead for Hayward, and that pickoff attempt drives him back. Braves are last in the league in stolen bases, and nobody has more than one. Jason has one. Got a big lead. Another close play. LaCroix has not had much success throwing out base stealers since he came back. He's only 1 for 13 on catching base stealers. Ryan chased a bad ball, and the count 1-2.
He likes to go to that changeup in this count right here, particularly against left-handers. So after that high fastball, we'll see if he follows that up with something slow and in the dirt.
He did. Off speed, off the end of the bat. Morgan, with good closing speed, runs it down, and the inning is over. A walk, but no damage. Braves leave a runner, and we go to the second. No score. Game one of the doubleheader. We go to the top of the second inning, and time now for our SunTrust solid performance. And what a performance last night, Tom, by Francisco Liriano, the first no-hitter of the year.
First no-hitter of the year, seventh in Twins/Senators franchise history. A little bit of a, I don't want to say ugly because no no-hitter is ugly, but the line score's not what you would typically expect out of a no-hitter. 6 walks, only 2 strikeouts, 123 pitches, and of those, only 60 some odd were for strikes. So that, not having seen it, that might be one of those games that you would term effectively wild.
And I like that note, too. He had the highest ERA going into the game of anybody that's thrown a no-hitter since 1946. Prince Fielder will lead off for the Brewers. 0 for 4 in game one on Monday night. Lines that to left, keeps it under the wind, and Prado with a nice over-the-shoulder catch. Probably expecting the wind to knock that down, and it didn't.
That's kind of the no-no, what you tell outfielders, turn and go get the ball, don't drift. But I agree with you. I think Martin was fooled by that. I don't know if it was hit harder or the wind didn't knock it down or maybe it rode the wind a little bit. I don't know, but he definitely had a little bit tougher time getting that than I think he was anticipating.
Casey McGee, the third baseman, steps in. 0 for 4 Monday night. Just 2 for 19 against Atlanta pitching so far on the year. 57 with a couple of homers. Prior to Liriano's no-hitter last night, the last no-hitter thrown by a Minnesota Twin was by Eric Milton back on September 11th of 1999. To McGee.
So the family tree for the Senators is kind of getting big now, right? It's got to include the Senators, the Twins, the Nats, the Expos,
Rangers.
The Rangers.
They were the original Senators. 4 straight to McGee. And with a runner at first and 1 out, a reminder, fans, get your tickets now to see Ludacris live in concert, presented by Coca-Cola and Delta Airlines, following the Braves against the Phillies game on Saturday, May 14th at 1 o'clock. Tickets for this game are going fast. Visit Braves.com/Ludacris today. Mark Kotze inserted into the lineup for game one. Brave takes one in the dirt. Hitting .264. No homers, 5 RBIs. Good on base percentage, though. Picked up 9 walks. Only has a total of 53 at bats.
He's healthy. He's the kind of guy you like on your team. Good guy in the clubhouse, works hard, plays hard. Play a number of positions for you now. And pretty darn good prospect when he came out of college,
I'll say. There's a strike, 2-1. After he left Atlanta, Mark went to Boston. And from Boston, he spent the last year and a half with the White Sox. Hit .239 for Chicago last year. 8 homers, 31 driven in. Out of play. Boston got him from the Braves in 2008 on August 27th, so he'd be eligible for the playoffs if they needed him for that, in exchange for an outfielder named Luis Somoza. Hard hit over the glove of Gonzalez and into center field. first hit of the day belongs to Kotsay, and they're at first and second with one out.
Fastball a little up in the zone, and Kotsay didn't try to do too much with it. And tell you what, anything that's hitting on the left side of the field right now, I think you're more surprised when it's not caught by Alex. He's been so good over there.
That'll bring up Jonathan Lucroy, the catcher. He's swinging the bat real well since he came back. Takes a strike. 340 average. 16 for 47. A couple of doubles and a homer.
Swinging it good before he got hurt, too. Had a 9-game hitting streak starting out the season.
Nice stop by McCann. Keeps the runners at first and second. Bottom part of the order here, but they are guys who make pretty good contact. With LaCroix's average, he's swinging it pretty good, and you know how the man in the on-deck circle, Craig Counsell, how hard he is to strike out. He'll put it in play. But a ground ball might get you two here with the catcher running. Two and one.
They got some good bit pieces on this ball club with this guy and Nieves catching, Counsell, Carlos Gomez, a lot of guys that can do a lot of things but are tough outs. I mean, they're going to contribute to this ball club.
And Tony behind again, 3-1.
That's a little uncharacteristic. I mean, certainly very low walk total all year long. Only 7 walks so far this year. And only 2 in his last 2 starts, so this is certainly not something that he's been accustomed to lately. He's been pounding the strike zone.
Hitters count 3-1. Right by him. 3-2.
And that's a nice luxury to have when it's 3-1 and everybody in the ballpark knows you're throwing a fastball. You throw it, you miss your location a little bit, and you still get it by him.
McGee, no speed at all at second, so I doubt that they're running, but we'll see right here at the payoff pitch. Looked like Kotsay flinched a little bit at first like he was going, but McGee never showed. Not running. Got him looking. Nice comeback by Hansen to get his 3rd strikeout.
From a 3-1 fastball for strike 2, and I don't know if he guessed wrong on the pitch or after seeing that fastball inside for strike 2, he guessed wrong on the location, but either way, took that pitch and shouldn't have.
Right at Brian McCann's glove, too. Craig Counsell, 2 for 8 in his career against Hansen, steps in, gets a start today, at least in game 1 here. Hitting just 172 on the year. Oh, good stop by McCann. 29 at bats for Counsell, 8 as a pinch hitter.
Looks like he's looks like he's modified his approach a little bit up there. He doesn't have the bat quite so high and the arch in his back like he used to, and why he's still around. He's still making adjustments.
Age does funny things to you. Back through the middle and under Tommy's glove into center field. McGee rounds 3rd. He'll score. And the Brewers strike first. As 40-year-old Craig Counsell drives in his 1st run of the year.
That part hasn't changed. Fastball down and away, and trying to go down and away. Probably ended up being out at third. And Counsell just hit it right back up the middle, and enough to get the less than speedy Casey McGee home.
Marco Estrada, the batter, he has a couple hits this year, 2 for 6. So the 1-out walk comes home to roost after McGee walked on 4 pitches. Brewers have some good hitting pitchers. It's not just Giovanni Gallardo, who already has a home run this year. He's got 3 hits. Sean Markham has 2 hits. Randy Wolf has 2.
Yeah, they're helping themselves a little bit, which you need to do. Look, there's no reason to just go up there and be an automatic out. At least battle and make that pitcher throw some pitches, and every now and then sneak in a hit and help yourself.
Hansen ahead 1-2. Got it. But the Brewers are on the board first. A 1-out walk and a couple of hits lead to a run. We go to the bottom of the second, 1-0 Brewers.
By Jameson Inn, ranked #1 in customer satisfaction nationwide for 6 straight years. Experience all the comfort and amenities you expect at an unexpectedly low price. Jameson Inn. Live large, pay less.
1-0 Brewers, bottom half of the second inning. Ugla, Freeman, and Gonzalez due up. Dan Ugla's heating up a little bit. He's got a 4-game streak going, 6 for his last 15 to get his average up over the Mendoza line. I played with Mario Mendoza, by the way, and we've raved about Alex Gonzalez and his glove work. For all the knocks on Mario not being able to hit, he was a magician at shortstop.
Well, he had to be something if he was still in the big leagues, and they have that nickname because of it. Another funky shift on him, too.
And a check swing. He'd like to yell overs, but can't. What he does do, though, he always hustles down the line and forces Prince Fielder to have to run over there to tag the bag. Freddie Freeman would like to snap out of it. With the Braves bats heating up, he's one guy that's fighting it. 0 for his last 12 and 3 for his last 31.
I don't want to say anything, but somebody was saying that playing with Mendoza took a lot of heat off of you.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. What do they mean by that?
I don't know, but I know where it came from. Too far in the booth. Laser Baker here today. Two and one.
And Freddie's kind of been in that rookie peak and valley. Started out a little bit slow, got it going again a little bit, and now he's kind of back in that lull.
2 and 2.
Got a tough homestand, tough series against St. Louis, but as you know, those are the things you have to fight through as a young player, particularly as a young hitter. There's, like we've talked about, there are no secrets anymore with all the video and advanced scouting that goes on. They're going to find your holes.
Breaking ball to third, right where Casey McGee was planted. He'll throw him out. 2 down for Alex Gonzalez. Time for our AT&T U-verse trivia question. And our question today: who holds the Braves record for highest fielding percentage by a shortstop?
Okay, now back to our conversation in Game 1 of this series, where is it scouting reports or is it managers' tendencies to play these shifts? I can't imagine there's enough information on Freddie Freeman for the short third baseman and playing where he was.
No, I am inclined to agree with you.
So whether it's just something that they're doing as an organization, or if they're kind of scrubbing the scouting report and going totally on what their pitchers are trying to do and trusting them to execute pitches, I don't know.
Well, I can kind of buy into this one with Alex. I can kind of do it a little bit with Jason Hayward, but it's not across the board for Braves hitters that you play them all to pull. Well, this has got to be a Ron Renicky thought for the most part. His first year as the Brewers manager, after a long tenure as a coach under Mike Scioscia in Anaheim with the Angels. Good cut on the 3-1 fastball. Full count. Do you think that shortstop fielding percentage is Jeff Blauser?
Well, you know, he certainly comes to mind. Rafael Belliard.
Oh,
might be
good one.
Another guess.
Another good cut. Still full count. Rafael Ramirez probably not.
No. Andres Thomas probably not.
Another 3-2. Breaking ball pulled sharply, backhanded by McGee. Dropped it, stumbled, throws, and still got him.
He might have got hurt.
An ugly play, but he got the out. And the Braves go in order. And we go to the third. Kroger, by the Home Depot, by Academy Sports and Outdoors, by Joel and Associates, and by Blimpie. Joe and Tom back with you at Turner Field. Top of the third inning, game one of the doubleheader. Brewers on top 1-0. And as you see it, these cheeseheads here today. They look like Mr. and Mrs. Cheesehead. Ricky Weeks struck out his first time up. Want to welcome back our producer, Jay Hoover, in the saddle today. Billy Moore, our director. And some good well wishes to our producer, Joe Vincius, who underwent some surgery today, but we hope he's resting comfortably this afternoon, and I know enjoying the game today.
It was good planning to do it on a doubleheader day.
Yeah, perfect. Oh. 1-2. Wooden chase. 2-2. 4 strikeouts for Hansen already through 2 innings. But the 1-out walk led to a run. That came in the second inning. Curveball lifted to left, and again Martin, knowing the wind's blowing hard, keeps an eye on it, but he's got it for the out. And with 1 out, here's an energy-saving tip from Georgia Power. Have your heating and cooling system professionally serviced. And for more energy-saving tips, visit georgiapower.com. See, there's one of those tips you get right up front.
Yes. You don't have to go to the website and dig it up. Nope.
Niger Morgan struck out his first time. Tries to put down a bunt, fouls it off. Morgan lost the battle for the center field job with the Nationals. The Brewers made an offer for him and got him for Lenny Dykstra's son. They traded Cutter Dykstra for him right at the end of spring training.
Between him and Carlos Gomez, they get a couple speedy ones out there.
Pretty nice platoon. That fastball was by him, but he fouled it off. It's still 0-2. As always, as you see, had good luck against Atlanta. To second, Ugla gets a little bit of an in-between hop, throws him out, 2 down. When Morgan came off the disabled list, the Brewers placed a pitcher on the disabled list. That was Zach Braddock, who pitched here Monday night. Worked a third of an inning, gave up a run. But he was placed on the disabled list for something I'd never heard of for a player to go on the DL for, and that was for a sleep disorder.
Yeah, I've heard different guys struggle with stuff like that, but
Yeah.
I think he's the first that I've heard go on the disabled list with it. And they're going to have to make another move for Greinke in game 2.
Yeah. Ryan Braun flied to center his first time.
And he will not be a part of the move.
Don't think so, but we can always hope. Signed a huge contract extension a few weeks ago. Brewers doing a preemptive strike, just trying to lock him up for a long time.
That's a good move. He'll be working hard to get his partner in crime, the on-deck hitter, to stick around with him.
Good pitch. 1-2. Ron was 1 for 4 Monday night, and his hit was to right field when he was behind in the count and took a pitch the other way against Jurgens. Off the thumbs to deep short. Alex plants, throws, and got him. What's new? Makes it look routine. Brewers go in order. We go to the bottom of the third. McLeod, Hansen, and Prado due up for the Braves. Top 1-0.
Not much to it, really. Been mostly pitching. Both Hansen and Estrada throwing the ball well. Only blemish being a Craig Counsell base hit that followed a Casey McGee walk, and that's gotten us to where we are at the bottom of the third inning. 1-0 Brewers.
Nate McLeod back in the 8th spot in the order, hitting .252. He's got a .400 on base percentage while batting in the 8th spot. 1 for 4 Monday night.
Just another one of those things that's hard to figure out.
Comfort level, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, why we talk about it so much from the pitching aspect. Well, if a guy can pitch in the 7th inning, why can't he pitch in the 9th inning? Well, there's more to it than that, and clearly there is between hitting 2nd and 8th.
Hard down the line, fair ball, headed for the corner. Nate's got at least 2. Kotze digs it out of the corner, and Nate has a leadoff double here in the 3rd. That's the Braves' first hit.
Well, he continues his hot hitting. Try to go fastball or sinker down and away, and kind of cut that one back towards the middle of the plate, and anything coming back into a left-handed hitter in the danger zone, and Nate hooked that one just inside the bag and got the Braves off and running here in the bottom of the 3rd with a leadoff double.
8 doubles for him, and Prado and Chipper are tied for the team lead with 9. Hansen needs to get a bunt down, move him over. He has 3 sacrifice bunts on the year. Takes a strike.
Yeah, we were talking in the first game of the series about Jair's approach to bunting and the way he faces the pitcher. I like Tommy's style much better. I think that looks much more comfortable, much more athletic. And like I said, he's in a position where he can do some things. He can get out of the way if a pitch is thrown at him. He can pull the bat back and take a swing if he needs to because he's got good balance. A lot of guys nowadays just don't, from up here anyway, just it doesn't look very comfortable.
Bunted at that one and missed. 0-2. That time they really had McGee charging and left Prince back.
Now, which is kind of odd. I mean, if you're trying to get the out at third here, you're going to do one of two things. You're going to have that third baseman stay at home and the first baseman's going to charge, or if that third baseman's charging, that shortstop's got to beat the runner to the bag. But on this play where it's not a forced play, that's a tough play to make.
Showing bunt again, 0-2. He gets it down. Nate got a good jump. Oh, it's a perfect bunt. And nobody covering first because Weeks was standing on the bag at second. That may have been why Fielder stayed back the pitch before Tommy. It's because Weeks was kind of bird dogging the runner.
Yes, clearly somebody somewhere got crossed up. Good bunt. Easily would have done the job and certainly would have thrown Tommy out at first base, but with nobody there, turns a sacrifice situation into a base hit, and the Braves are off and running first and third.
First hit of the year for Tommy. He'll take it. Good 0-2 bunt. Tying run at third for Prado, who struck out his first time on a check swing. Good curve.
He likes to go to his off-speed stuff a lot with runners in scoring position. He went to his slider right there for strike one.
Liner to right, base hit. That ties the game, and Hansen goes to second. Prado has his 14th RBI, and he's hitting 7 straight. A nice piece of hitting going the other way.
It was a good piece of hitting after a front door slider on strike one. Trying to come back with another slider on the outside part of the plate, and Martin a little bit fooled by it, but just kind of threw his hands at the ball and tried to put it in play and found the hole.
You know what he does, though, that helps on that pitch? He doesn't stride. His front foot kind of stays planted, so he's still got a little weight centered over home plate. He's not stepping in the bucket by any means. That helps him stay on that pitch a lot longer. Here's Jason, who walked his first time. Still nobody out. Takes up and in. Good numbers for him, like several Braves with runners in scoring position. Two and 0. Chipper on deck.
Well, for a field pitcher, a location type pitcher, guy that relies on his changeup a lot, this could be a tough day for him to pitch. Where it's cool and the wind's blowing, it's hard to keep any perspiration on your hand, and I wouldn't be surprised if he struggles with that a little bit.
Jason taken all the way, 3-1. First, they're not going to be able to turn a double play. The runners move up to second and third for Chipper with one out. We'll see if they pitch to him or elect to pitch to McCann. Looked like Jason went after a bad ball there, a little impatient.
Yeah, you know, it's tough. It's a hitter's count, and you know, you're looking for a fastball in that situation, and sometimes even if you get it, if it's not in the zone that you want, it's still tough to lay off it. I think he got the fastball he was looking for, but wasn't necessarily in the zone that he likes to swing at it, and didn't get a good swing on it.
Well, he was hitting .333 with runners in scoring position, but a couple of guys at the plate and on deck who are at or near the top of the league in that category. Chipper flied out his first time up.
Yeah, this is a place where you got to pick your poison. You're going to have to pitch to one of them.
Just saw those other two guys leave town with the Cardinals. Breaking ball down and in, 0-2. You got the pitcher running at third, and the right side of the infield is in about halfway. It would appear anything to the left side, they'd concede the run, but if Chipper pulls the ball, Weeks and Fielder may come home. Nice stop there by Lucroy. 1-2 to count. Chipper leads the team in RBIs with 21. So many hitters chasing that high one. Hard to lay off, didn't get him. Couple of breaking balls to get ahead, 0-2, and now it's 2-2.
Look for him to go back to that changeup right here.
Full count. No reason to throw him anything but that with first base open. I would even mess with trying to trick him.
No, sometimes you end up tricking yourself, and you figure, you know, the old saying, if you're going to throw a 3-1, you got to throw a 3-2, and with a base open, why not?
Good, and sends it to third. McGee's going to come home, and they'll get Tommy Hanson easily. Over to third is Prado. Fielder's choice. First and third for McCann.
I went back to that curveball, backdoored it. Hanson was, I'm assuming, going on contact and rightly pulled up and didn't have a collision.
Right. It's funny with these shifts we've been talking about for the Brewers. The two balls hit right to McGee already. In what would be somewhat of an unorthodox position for a third baseman. McCann, though, with a little Ric Flair to right field. Puts the Braves on top. His 15th RBI. And he continues to just tear it up with runners in scoring position.
And when it's going good, it's going good. Got a sinker down and didn't get a lot of it, but got enough of it to get it over Weeks' head and into right field for a base hit and put the Braves on top 2-1 and add to that league-leading runners in scoring position average.
Ugla grounded out his first time. Goes after the first pitch. Check this out, Tommy. See if you can see the rosin come off the baseball at the point of contact.
Yep.
It's a little dust fly. Ugla didn't like that one. He's in the hole 0-2. And again, his numbers in recent days much improved. Curveball got him, inning over. Braves claim the lead, though. They score a couple, they leave a couple. 3 innings in the books. Braves up 2-1. Upcoming schedule, and it includes Game 2 of this series. Zach Greinke will be going for the Milwaukee Brewers. He'll be making his debut after being acquired from the Kansas City Royals against the always tough Tim Hudson. Hudson 3-2 on the year, a 3.48 ERA. Last year with Kansas City, Greinke 10-14 with a 4.17 ERA. He was the 2009 Cy Young Award winner, however, with Kansas City when he led the American League with a 2.16 ERA. And he's been on the disabled list with a cracked rib that he suffered in a pickup basketball game in spring training. It's our Jameson Inn upcoming schedule.
That didn't go over too well with the organization.
I wouldn't think that in your first spring camp with a new team, I wouldn't think that would be well received.
Yeah, you give him credit for trying to stay in shape, but
yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. I've only seen him pitch on TV a little bit, so looking forward to that matchup, and always love watching Huddy pitch.
Prince Fielder leads off the fourth for Milwaukee. He lined to left his first time. Braves have a shift on for him, and it is a more conventional overshift. Chipper moves all the way from third base over to the first base side of second. And Alex Gonzalez stays at short. You can see Ugla out in shallow right. Fielder 2 years ago led the league in RBIs with 141. Last year, his RBI total dipped to 83, which is the lowest since his first full year in the big leagues. But he led the league in walks with 114. So part of the reason he didn't drive in as many runs is because they weren't pitching to him a whole lot.
Yeah, he is certainly the guy, one of the two guys, obviously, you're going to target and say, well, I'm not going to let this guy beat me. And, you know, Prince has been pretty productive.
Lines that one to right and deep. Hayward going back, and this game is tied. There's some production. His 7th homer and 27th RBI.
The classic left-handed golf swing right there.
Didn't sound very good either.
No, I had a hard time finding the ball off the bat. That's the danger of throwing a breaking ball that comes into a left-handed hitter. If it's, you know, down and in is their happy zone. If it's down and middle to middle in, they're so good at just flicking their hands at the ball and getting ahead of the bat on the ball, and it just flies.
McGee fouls that one off the mask of Brian McCann. For Hansen, just the third home run he's allowed. And the first since he gave up one to Braun in Milwaukee. Bright sunshine here at Turner Field. Beautiful day to play. But as we continue through here on through the middle innings of this first game, you'll see that shadow begin to creep out. And that'll make it increasingly difficult for the hitters. That breaking ball got away from Hansen, and it's 2-1.
That home run by Prince broke a little bit of a streak for the Braves starting pitchers. First home run allowed in 59 innings.
Yeah, I think they're tops in the National League in that category in home runs allowed. 2-2. Still 2-2. Good fastball there. Mark Kotze to follow, and then Jonathan LaCroix. As we've been saying, Prince Fielder will be a free agent at the end of the year, unless the Brewers attempt to sign him before then. Hansen thought he had McGee struck out. Instead, it's a payoff pitch. Down near the tarp, Freeman had the wind push that away from him.
Yeah, it looked like he was underneath that ball in good position to catch it. In the last 6 to 8 feet, it just kept going.
Had he found the tarp first, he probably would have made the play.
Right there, it just kept going. Yeah, you're right. If he that little stutter step right there, trying to find where he was.
And instead, a line drive, but it's pulled foul by McGee, just foul. So a break there. Goodfield and Colbreth had a good look at that.
You like that little nickname, don't you?
I do. Pretty good battle here with McGee running up the pitch count for Hansen. Ninth pitch coming. And the 59th of the day for Tommy. There'll be a 10th pitch.
Taking a page out of the Cardinals hitters in that Cardinals series, just fouling off pitch after pitch. As a pitcher, this drives you nuts because the 2-2 pitch, Tommy was feeling like he had strike three, and now here we are 5 pitches later, and you still don't have him out.
The 3-2, now back again. There will be an 11th pitch.
It's one of those at bats that back in the day somebody might say, all right, you want to foul off these pitches, you want to get on base so bad, here you go. Here's one right in the ribs.
Plump. Struck him out. McCann hangs on. Strikeout number 5 for Hansen.
It was just a good battle, and Tommy kept battling and staying in there with him, and went back to that slider and got McGee just a touch out in front of it that time. And Mac was able to hold on for Tommy's 6th strikeout on the day.
I got him for 5.
5.
Kotze singled his first time up. It's funny, I mentioned the shadow. I'm not sure Hansen saw that throw back from McCann right away. It's kind of dodging to left. Prado was shallow. Started to go back, now plants and puts it away. Tough day of this wind.
A lot of elements to contend with: the wind, the sunshine, the shadows, the glare on the seats.
And LaCroix, the batter, with 2 out, a run in on the homer by Fielder that's tied the game. LaCroix out of Lafayette, Louisiana, went to the University of Louisiana at Lafayette. Was a 3rd-round pick by the Brewers out of college. Struck out looking his first time up. Out of play. Tommy, the Braves have a decision to make come Sunday, because either Hansen or Hudson will have to come back, one would expect, to pitch Sunday in Philadelphia on short rest. Will it make any difference, the fact that it's a night game? An 8 o'clock start?
Yeah, I mean it will. You know, you're still dealing with a couple extra hours of rest, so you know it will. I think the biggest factor is probably going to be number of pitches and the effort level that's used in the game. You know, and I say that from the standpoint
stressful
of
innings, that
yeah,
sort of thing.
Yeah, you know, it's you could both throw 100 pitches, but if one guy's in jams all day long, then obviously that 100 pitches is going to take much more of a toll than it will on the other guy. So they'll factor all that in. You know, they might factor in that, you know, Tommy's the younger of the two, and you know, see where that comes into play, and they might factor in matchups too as to how they want to play that.
LaCroix hangs in there 2-2, still the count.
Be nice if they could get a big lead in one of these games and take one of them out relatively low in pitch count and preparation for being able to come back a day early.
Oh.
He's been consistent with not
Yes.
calling that.
Yes, he has. Just off.
Just off. I don't know if they're not swinging at it because they think it's balls or they just can't pull the trigger on it.
Full count pitch, bounce to the left side. Chipper cuts out and off, and another nice pick by Freddie Freeman. More good defense by the Atlanta infield. But the Brewers tied up on the homer by Fielder. And as we go to the bottom of the 4th, we've got a 2-2 game. Peachtree TV and Fox Sports South is being presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff, the low price. Part of the crowd here today enjoying the first game of a doubleheader. 2-2 tie. Bottom part of the order for Atlanta due up. Freeman, Gonzalez, and McLeod. Freddie grounded out his first time up. Got 2 runs on 4 hits in the 3rd inning. And there's another line shot, a blue darter into right field. That'll snap an 0 for 13 for Freddie Freeman.
Good swing on that ball. I got a 1-0 changeup, and you see by Estrada's reaction, he didn't quite finished that one the way he wanted to. Left it up a little bit, and Freddie put a good swing on it.
So a good start to the 4th. Alex Gonzalez grounded third his first time up. McGee made a funny play, knocked it down, dropped it, twisted around, stumbled, still threw him out. Alex has hit in 4 straight. Our Delta Airlines on deck with Nate McLeod. I shortchanged him a little bit earlier. I said he was hit an on base of 400 in the 8th spot. He actually has an on base of 510. And now with a base hit is hitting 400 in the 8th spot.
He's not going to like you
no,
sliding him a little bit there.
Nope. Not with those numbers. I don't blame him. Off speed pitch, 1-1.
Change up inside right there. I don't know if he did it on purpose or not, but yeah, it's really, you know, as we talked about in the open with the Braves offense heating up, and so much of the attention obviously is centered on Dan Uggla, but these 2 guys, Alex and Nate, have really stepped it up and really been swinging the bat well. And you know what? It's makes it that much tougher on a pitcher when you got to worry about the bottom third of the order.
Another big hook, 1-2. Stop by LaCroix. You know, watching him from center field, Tom, with it, you were talking earlier about how unusual his windup is, and he ought to just work out of the stretch. When he's in the stretch, when he brings that front foot back, it's almost more like he just leans his body back and it causes his front foot to come up. It's not just a little step. Another unusual part.
Yeah, not certainly not the norm. He's kind of loaded already on that back leg, and
toward the hole and past McGee, base hit. Freeman will stop at second, and Alex has hit in 5 straight. Braves in business here in the 4th with singles to start the inning.
Try to get him and chase a slider for strike 3. Try to go back on the outside corner and bring that fastball back to the corner, but started it more middle of the plate, ran in on Alex, and he was able to fight it off a little bit, get it through the hole, and continue his hot hitting. And put a couple guys out there for, as we talked about, Nate, who's really swinging the bat well.
Double right down the first base line his first time up. Scored the Braves' first run. Takes a fastball. Nate had been tied for the team lead in runs scored with Martin Prado. He's taken the team lead now with 18. And then Prado tied him right back. Martin scored in the third inning, too. He's in the hole 0-2. Off that fastball. You like to see Nate put the ball in play here. He's tough to double up and hope for a situation where at the very least you might have first and third for Hansen, who you might put a squeeze play on for.
That overshift they got going on in the infield again. I'd like to see him throw another one of those sinkers away and just have Nate punch it right in that hole. But
tried a backdoor breaking ball and missed. Count even now, 2-2. His numbers outstanding in this situation. Wow. Estrada wanted that one.
I don't know that I can blame him. Tough one to lay off.
Tough one to lay off, and Eagle Eye McLeod has run it full. Wouldn't expect the runners to be going here, but with the pitcher on deck, maybe. Not going. Out of play. Talked about those last 10 games where the Braves have gone 7-3 over the last 10, and their hitting has picked up. They have scored 5 runs or more in 8 of those 10 games.
Well, that'll generally do it for you. And then if you couple that with the way these guys, the starting pitchers, have been throwing the ball, that's the reason why.
Missed with a breaking ball, and Estrada again drops his head like he thought he had a good pitch there, and they're loaded with nobody out for Tommy Hansen. That's quite an at-bat.
Yeah, it was a real good at-bat. Laid off some tough pitches and maybe got the benefit of the doubt on one of them, but nonetheless, he's hung in there and put the Braves in a nice situation here with bases loaded, nobody out.
Hansen put down a bunt to move McLeod over to third base his first time up, but nobody was covering at first, so it turned into a base hit. Tommy's got to be a little patient here, make sure he gets a good pitch to hit.
Yeah, he does. You know, as a pitcher, you get geeked up when you get up there anyway, and particularly when you get runners in scoring position, so you don't want to do anything to help him out.
Good idea. Take a strike. 1-1. Estrada having to work hard. We're in the bottom of the fourth. One and two. Good slider.
Yeah, I can see why they like this guy. I mean, he moves his fastball on both sides of the plate. A little sink to it from time to time. That breaking ball right there is a pretty darn good pitch, and a little bit more inconsistent with his changeup, but got a lot to work with.
2-2. Yeah, my scouting report had him said they had 2 curveballs. One that, like the one he just threw 2 pitches ago, is kind of hard, and then a slow curve to go with his slider and change. See what he throws here. 2-2. Got him looking. That's his 3rd strikeout. But that lets Martin hit with the bases loaded, 1 out.
Trying to go in, threw it down the middle. call that strike 3 against a pitcher. I'm not so sure he would have called it against a hitter. But certainly in a much more manageable position now as a pitcher to look for that ground ball to get out of the inning.
Infield is back. They'll play for 2 up the middle. This for me was the hardest time on the shadows, where the pitcher was in the sunlight and the backdrop, the batter's eye's in the sunlight, but everything about the baseball, the flight of the baseball, is in the shadow.
And you have the glare on the outfield wall, so yeah, it's a tough time to see right now.
And I really think you do the hitter a favor if you throw anything off speed. It gives him a chance to track the pitch. Martin's base hit in the 3rd inning, drove in a run to extend his hitting streak, and a chance to give the Braves the lead again right here. One and two.
And a good job of getting that fastball up and in on the Braves hitters and in on their hands. He's had a tough time once he gets in there and gets him conscious of coming back and following that up with either that slider away or that comeback sinker away to put the hitter away. So see what he tries to do here. Looks like he's going to go away with something. See if he can make the pitch.
Breaking ball that he left up. That's going to plate 1. Gonzalez read it perfectly off the bat. Again, more good base running by Alex. 2-run single for Prado. He's driven in 3 today. And the Braves are back on top.
Kind of the same thing like we were saying. He's trying to go down and away and ended up throwing it almost middle in and up, and Martin fought it off the handle and looped it out there into center field for a big base hit.
Good read by Alex.
Very good read by Alex. Just another one of those things that he does so well out there on the baseball field.
Rick Kranitz is the new pitching coach for the Brewers. He has a visit with Estrada. A little stretching going on in the Brewers bullpen. Jason Hayward has walked and grounded out. One out. Good speed on the bases. McLouth at second, Prado at first. Jason late on that one. It looked like he didn't pick that one up very well. 0-2.
Threw that ball hard. 95 on that fastball.
Was it?
Maybe it's because the wind's blowing it.
No wonder he was a little late. Got a battle now. 0-2. And he lines one on an 0-2 pitch, but right at Niger Morgan. Hit it hard. There's 2 down for Chipper. Chipper has popped to center, and then he grounded out into a force play his last time up when Hansen was at third base trying to get him home, and they threw Tommy Hansen out at the plate. But Prado followed, McCann followed right after that with an RBI single to put the Braves on top for their second run in the 3rd inning. Good cut. 0-1. And he's also flashed some leather. Here's our Zaxby's indescribably good play to end the top of the 4th. Brings it to his left. And got some help from Freddie Freeman.
Took a page out of the Alex Gonzalez book. Going there and spinning around and making that throw.
Yeah, the left side of the diamond for the Braves is very ballet-like.
Yes, very much so. Twinkle toes over there. I haven't seen I've been seeing Chipper make that play for a long, long time, going to his left and gloving it and spinning around.
.300 career hitter, batting average wise, and his career average with runners in scoring position. Well, it wouldn't surprise you. It's a .302. Two on, two out. Two in. 3-1.
I think one of the patterns you're starting to see here, one of the kind of rule of thumbs in pitching and watching a guy's patterns is, it's kind of that hard in, soft away where you're trying to get the hitters off for certain pitches, and Estrada's get the hard in part down. He's been pretty good at getting that ball in on the hitters, but when he's trying to follow it up with the soft away, he's been missing and either getting behind the counter, or those are the pitches that the Braves have been putting good swings on. And if you start to get into that pattern, the hitter's going to know you're getting into that pattern, and if you're missing with that soft away part, it really makes him be able to zone in on a mistake breaking ball or look for that fastball that you don't get in.
Yeah, anytime as a hitter you can cut the plate in half and only have to worry about one half. Good shape. Chipper slices one to third. McGee somehow came up with it. That was right at his feet when he picked it up and throws him out. But again, the Braves put two more across. And after four, Braves are on top, 4-2.
Presented by authority of Atlanta National Baseball Club Incorporated, it may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Braves.
Stellar.
Thank you. I mean, it's the only one they're letting me read so far, but I'm really getting good at it.
I think you are.
Thank you.
I'm proud of you. Braves are up 4-2. Bottom part of the order for the Brewers. As we go to the fifth inning, Counsell in the pitcher spot, and then Ricky Weeks. Homer the Brave working the crowd today. I saw him on the field earlier on a four-wheeler.
Stealing a page out of the Fanatics book, huh?
Hope he knows how to ride that thing. Craig Counsell singled, drove in a run in the second. Lines the first pitch to left. Prado playing shallow there for the grab. Fast inning would be nice. Now it's time for our Home Depot know-how question of the game. Comes from Doug in Alpharetta, who wants to know, how does pitching in heavy wind like today affect your pitches, Tom?
Well, there's a couple things. Throwing downwind can give you a little bit of a false sense of security, like you're throwing harder than you are. And typically throwing downwind puts a little bit less movement on your fastball and your changeup. Conversely, if you're throwing into the wind, it gives you tremendous movement on your changeup. And then if you factor in a crosswind, if the wind is coming from across into the throwing hand side of the pitcher, generally speaking, that makes it a little bit harder maybe to throw a slider or a breaking ball, whatever breaking ball he likes to go with.
So the wind's blowing hard at your back. Just because it feels good doesn't necessarily mean that's a good thing that you're really throwing hard.
No, you get that false sense of security like, boy, I'm really bringing it today. And you might get away with a few because the wind's blowing in. But, the other thing, too, like I was talking about earlier, these were some of the games that were always hard for me to pitch in because, like I said, it's not hot enough to where you're sweating. So you don't have much perspiration on your hand, and even as much as you might try to lick your fingers or rub it in your hair, with that wind, by the time you get back on the rubber, your hands are glazed over again, so it feels like you're throwing a snowball sometimes.
Estrada down on strikes. That's 6 for Hansen.
And I don't care how good a hitting pitcher you are, you're not going to hit that one too many times.
If you can hit that hook, you may find yourself a spot in the order. Ricky Weeks is 0 for 2. He struck out in the first, flied to left in the 3rd inning. And by letting Estrada hit for himself here, it's pretty obvious that Ron Renicki's trying to save his bullpen a little bit. They don't know what game 2 holds with Zach Greinke making his debut.
We'll probably be on a little bit of a pitch count, I would imagine.
Yeah, I think it's 90.
Yeah, this is definitely a game where you can't, you have to worry about the next game a little bit. You can't just totally dismiss it. A lot of times the philosophy is, wow, we'll manage today's game and we'll worry about tomorrow when tomorrow gets here. But you can't come into a doubleheader thinking that way. You've got to at least have it on your mind, well, if this happens, then that, and at least one eye on what might be going on later on tonight.
It might be. They're carrying 12 pitchers. And when they activate Greinke, I mean, it well could be that Estrada's a guy that gets optioned back to Nashville.
It could very well be.
Just so they don't have to lose another guy in the pen or one of their bench players. 3-0 to Weeks. Takes a strike.
That'd be, it'd be hard pressed to think it's going to be somebody out of the rotation. I mean, it's not going to be, one of the front 3 guys. No. It's not going to be Randy Wolf, I wouldn't imagine. So, now you're looking at either Estrada or somebody out of that bullpen, and without knowing the makeup of their bullpen as well as their guys do, you'd be certain Estrada would be in the mix.
A quick inning just turned into a little slower inning. 5-pitch walk to Weeks. Second walk issued by Hansen, and Niger Morgan, the batter, is struck out and grounded out on his return from the disabled list.
And that's one of those walks as a pitcher, you're kicking yourself in the butt. You got 2 quick outs. Your team just put a 2-spot up for you. Your pitch count's starting to come into play a little bit here in a double play, and the last thing you want to do with 2 outs is walk somebody. Because right now with a 2-run lead, I'm sure on the Brave side of things, and Tommy Hansen's thinking, all right, well, I got a chance to get deep into this game, save our bullpen a little bit with a doubleheader going on today, and then you go out there and you give up a 2-out walk, and you got to kind of take a mental timeout and regather yourself.
And missed on his first pitch to Morgan. Weeks 2 out of 3 in stolen bases at first. Hansen has gone 7 innings in each of his last 2 starts with only 1 run allowed total through 105 pitches at San Francisco and a 4-1 win through 113 at San Diego.
Good change right there.
Cubs beat the Dodgers today 5-1, but I don't believe Andre Ethier played.
Yeah, we were talking about that. He didn't get the start.
29 straight.
Tough way to keep it going if you got a pinch hit.
They're claiming he had elbow inflammation, the reason he didn't play.
Getting too many hits.
Yeah.
Hyperextending that elbow.
There's that shadow again with the bright backdrop. Runner goes. And McCann did well just to glove that one. No chance to throw out Weeks.
No, you got a good jump and guess right on the pitch. Anytime you can run on a non-fastball, you're increasing your chances of getting down there.
And Tommy's worked hard on trying to speed up his delivery to the plate and employ a slide step at times to try to cut down on the stolen bases. Will half swing. Gonzalez will have to hurry, and he gets him. Inning over. No harm done on the walk and stolen base. We go to the bottom of the fifth. Middle of the order due up for Atlanta. Here's our Sunshine House leaderboard as the Braves lead at 4-2. Here's an interesting one, Tom, for me, and that is that in terms of errors made by your opponents, the Braves have only had 7 errors made while they were hitting versus the 33 made for Seattle while they were batting. And even the average is 17. Nobody's willing to help the Braves out.
Now, sometimes you got to have a little luck on your side, and certainly the Braves have seen the best of everybody's defense so far this year.
Absolutely. Brian McCann has a base hit and an RBI.
That's 26 extra opportunities to score a run that Seattle's had, and you get that many chances with this lineup, you like your chances of somebody running into one.
Brian's going to try to spoil the ship, but came up empty, 1-2. Longest winning streak in baseball belongs to the Cleveland Indians. They've won 7 in a row. They have the best record in baseball at 20-8. As McCann sends that one down the third base line, and McGee in foul territory has it. 1 out. I didn't have Cleveland getting off to that kind of start.
I don't think I know anybody on Cleveland's team except for Grady Sizemore. Yeah, I don't think they were on too many people's radar screens. I mean, American League Central, I don't know. It's probably, I would imagine most people had the White Sox.
Well, it's a little upside down right now. They've got a 4.5 game lead over Kansas City, who's in second. Dan Uggla's 0 for 2. He's grounded out and struck out.
I don't know about Dan, but I'm kind of glad that he didn't make contact with probably would have been off his kneecap or his shin.
Fought that one off to stay alive.
And that's one of the things that Estrada's got to do a little bit more to get guys off of his patterns. It's, I think, the first time I can really remember that he's doubled up on a fastball inside. So, and Ugla took kind of a funny swing at it. I wonder if he was thinking soft away.
There's the soft away, but there's that shift that takes the hit away from him by a step. Nice play by Weeks. And that shift is working.
Yeah, talk about bad luck. There's some bad luck right there. I mean, that's a hit against pretty much every other team in the National League. That's kind of their style. They're taking away that base hit up the middle and kind of virtually giving every hitter the hole the opposite way and almost daring them to hit the ball.
There's an old defensive setup for outfielders called, bunch them, where the right fielder and the left fielder kind of bunch toward the center fielder toward the gap, and you give the lines. And their infield alignment's almost like they're bunching everybody over to one side or the other, depending on the hitter, and saying, you know what, we'll give you that ground ball or whatever down the third base line in this case.
Yeah, it seems like with the right-handed hitters, they're giving them the hole at second. With the left-handers, they're saying if you're going to get a base hit the other way, it's going to have to be right down the third base line. Which, if I were hitting, that would play right into my style.
Me too.
My, oh my. I used to guys get up, they're standing right where the umpire's standing. Remember the first time when Blauser went to the Cubs, like the first time I came up to the bat. I wasn't really paying attention. I look up and he was playing shortstop and sitting about 5 feet away from the third baseman right down the line. I'm just looking. I'm like, come on. He just kind of waved his finger at me and said, I'm not moving.
Full count to Freeman. Freddie broke an 0 for 13 with a solid single to right in the fourth. That got a 2-run rally going. Payoff pitch. Got him looking. He knew it. Don't know if Freddie was having a hard time seeing the ball or if he was just guessing wrong. Braves go in order. We go to the sixth. By SunTrust, by AT Outburst, by McDonald's, by Toyota, and by Georgia Power. Part of the order for the Brewers due up here in the sixth inning. Braves on top 4-2. Part of the crowd enjoying the game here, and if you're in the area, come on by and join us. Still a lot of baseball left today. This is game 1 of a doubleheader. Ryan Braun is flied out and grounded out. He has reached base in a club record 28 straight games to start the season. Broke Robin Yount's record, but has not been on today. Tommy would like to keep it that way because he has owned Hanson.
Yeah, he's got some pretty good numbers against Thomas.
6 for 15 with 4 homers. 2-0 the count. 2-1. Funny swing. Shadow related.
I don't know if the folks at home can hear, but one of the beauties of a small crowd like this is when there is that one guy in the crowd that wants to get on you, you can hear him.
Yeah. In the air to center. McLouth has room and puts it away. You see Nate is playing without any sunglasses on, I believe, right now. And from an outfielder's standpoint, I mean, the sun's off to his right, so that's not a problem in terms of the ball getting in the way. But if you've got on shades, you can't see the ball off the bat in the shadows, Tom. You've got to try to find it off the bat almost as hard there as it is as a hitter.
Yeah, I mean, you know, obviously most of the time you're using those sunglasses to protect against having to look directly into the sunlight. But you're right, on a day like today, it's more about trying to find that thing off the bat, so you need as much help as you can.
Prince Fielder launched one into the seats in right field his last time up. His 7th homer of the year. He's also lined out deep to left. Braves with their shift on for him, and a big cut, 0-2. Here's a look at the homer.
From a breaking ball, caught a little bit more of the plate than Tommy wanted. It was down, but like we said, with those left-handed hitters, they like that ball down, and Prince was able to get the head of the bat on it and drive it through that wind.
Listed at 5'11", 275. He was a first-round pick by the Brewers. Out of Florida. (2002) was the draft year. Didn't chase 1 and 2.
Similar to the pitch he hit for a home run, but got that one down in the dirt.
Eric O'Flaherty is throwing in the Braves bullpen, just getting loose. A 54-footer there had Prince dancing around. Didn't want to make another mistake with that one down and in, did he?
No, he didn't. That's the lower than low. See if he'll chase this one.
Like a change-up coming. And he popped it up, but it'll reach the seats out of play. There's O'Flaherty. Pitch number 98 due from Hanson. Chase, and another funny swing. Strikeout number 7 for Hansen.
I don't know if that's shadow related or just, oh, no. Couldn't quite make up his mind, and then he did, and wished he had.
Yeah, it's kind of an afterthought almost. Two outs for Casey McGee. Let's see if Tommy can get him 1, 2, 3 this inning. Got 2 quick outs in the 5th, but then walked Weeks before retiring Morgan. McGee has walked and scored a run. He's also struck out. And he is just 2 for 20 against Atlanta pitching so far on the year. In the air to center. Again, the wind should knock this down, but it's pushing it to right center, and McLeod has to move to his left to make the catch. That ball made a strong right turn. Hansen gets him in order. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Bottom of the 6th inning. Here's our AT Outburst trivia question, which was about fielding percentage for shortstops. Who holds the Braves record for highest fielding percentage by a shortstop? You mentioned Rafael Belliard. I think I'm going with that.
Well,
get on your bandwagon.
If you do, then we're both wrong.
Oh.
I looked.
Oh, you did?
And it was a Rafael, but it wasn't Belliard.
For call.
Forgot all about him.
Wow. Not Belliard, not Ramirez, but Rafael for call. Alex has a base hit and 2 trips today.
We've had a pretty good string of shortstops going back to Belliard.
Pitching and defense.
Yep, be strong up the middle. Get a chance to compete.
Five straight for Gonzalez on his hitting streak. Pulls that one down the line. Long run for Braun, and he pulled it foul. Brian Braun came up as a third baseman for Milwaukee. He played third at University of Miami, but they moved him to the outfield pretty fast just to save in his career a little bit, and because he did struggle a little bit at third base.
Yeah, it's a little bit easier position to focus on your offense out there too.
2-2.
Typically that third base position, you're expecting production on the home run and the RBI side, and you're also expected to throw the leather a little bit out there, so there's a lot to worry about, and it took some of that worry out of his brain.
Got him, and Alex knew it. Strikeout number 5 for Estrada.
That's that 2-strike pitch he's been trying to locate all day long. Located that one pretty darn good. I don't know if it's, they're trying to follow patterns and they're guessing slider right there, and he just crosses them up with a fastball or what, but that was a well-placed pitch.
Klaus had a good day. He's doubled and scored. He's walked. Shows bunt. Takes a strike. Brooks Conrad has come out on deck. Looks like he'll hit for Hansen. To the right side. Weeks plugs up the hole, but his throw is off the mark. And McLeod made a big turn. They didn't see it. He was headed for second. He hustles back in time. And we'll wait to see how they score it.
Yeah, hooked that one in the hole, and Ricky Weeks went a long way to his left, and with McLeod running, he knew he had to hurry. I don't know if he had to hurry that much, but you're right, Joe. That's that whole intent thing right there, and McLeod definitely was intended to go on going towards second base.
Well, there's the opponent's defense helping. It's an E4. And Brooks Conrad will hit for Hansen, who goes 6 good innings, gave up 3 hits and 2 runs. Walked a couple, struck out 7. Mitch Stetter begins to loosen up in the Milwaukee bullpen. Johnny Venner's now throwing in the Atlanta pen.
I think I'd rather see that opponent's error come on just a routine error, not one where you can kind of make an argument for a base hit. That's a tough play.
I'd much rather see it when it allows a run in. Brooks had the game winner against the Cardinals on Sunday. A walk-off single. And then had dirt dumped all over his head by Martin Prado. And a new form of celebration, I guess. Three and 0 to Brooks. 2 for 13 as a pinch hitter. Both of the hits have come left-handed. And he takes down low. Third walk issued by Estrada. First and second, 1 out. And Rick Kranitz on the trot, the pitching coach, out to talk to Estrada. Stetter is a left-hander, so if this inning continues, we might see him work to Hayward if it gets that far. Stetter. Martin Prado's had a good day. He stands in 2 for 3. A couple of singles, and he's driven in 3 today.
Nice piece of hitting right there with taking a breaking ball to the opposite field for a base hit, and then a little bit of a hang and curveball on the fingers that he muscled into the outfield for another base hit. Good day for Martin, and again, I think as we've talked about on this homestand, as he goes, the Braves seem to go.
Yeah, that's right. Chance for another RBI or 2 right here. And McLeod broke for third, and they got Estrada to step off. He's awful frisky.
Yes, he is. In a hurry to get to that next base. He's been able to make that first pitch against Martin all day long, but it's been following that up that he's had a tough time with. And sometimes as a pitcher, when you throw that nasty breaking ball, you try to come back and throw another one even nastier, and those are the ones you end up hanging.
And he did try it. Fouled off 0-2. Got ahead of Martin back in the 4th inning, though, before giving up that loop single.
Martin's going to make pitches to get him out. He's very seldom is he going to get himself out. So even though it's he's in an 0-2 hole, as a pitcher, you still have to make quality pitches against him.
Fastball off his thumbs, through the hole, diving stop by Counsell, no play anywhere. Another hit for Martin. Just as you said, Tom, tough to put away, and he put that one in play for another knock, and they're loaded for Hayward.
Yeah, that was a really good pitch. I think that pitch is a ball. Martin pulled his hands in and fought it off and put it in a good spot. Counsell probably saved the run.
And that'll end Estrada's day. Ron Renicky had his left-hander warming up. He's got him ready, and with Hayward due up, the Brewers are going to make a pitching change, and as they do, we'll take this break. Outdoor game summary, and so far so good, Mr. Glavin. A lot of A's on caps there.
Yeah, anytime you see 3 out of the 4 with an A on their hat, pretty good indication that things are going well for the home team, and they are today. Tommy Hansen's thrown through the ball real well today. Martin Prado having a big day. Brian McCann, no surprise, another hit with runners in scoring position, and we'll give a little love to the visitors. Prince Fielder with solo home run.
This guy's awfully tough on lefties. Mitch Stetter inherits. Bases loaded, 1 out. He's got to work to Jason Hayward, but lefties are just 2 for 14 against him, and you'll see why in a second. He's throwing it from somewhere around the first base bag. Gets away from the catcher. McLeod had a good lead, and he'll score. LaCroix got pretty good part of that. He just didn't stay in his glove.
Yeah, it looked like he had a spring in his glove. I think it just took off. It wasn't close to being the location he wanted, but looked like it caught him kind of on the thumb of his glove, and with his momentum going that way, just pushed it over into the Braves on deck circle.
Waffled his glove, and it would go as a wild pitch. Good call there. Infield in. And a big sweeping curveball makes it 1-1. The only run Stetter has allowed this year came in his first outing. Just 1 walk, 5 strikeouts in 5 1/3 innings. Pretty much a specialist for left-handed hitters. 5-2 Atlanta. Thanks to the wild pitch. And Jason hangs in there and fouls that one off.
If you want to find out if a left-handed hitter is willing to stay in there on a left-handed pitcher, this is a good guy to find out against.
Good test. Conrad's at third, Prado at second. Infield in. That hit him. It brushed him as he went by. They tried to move him back with a breaking ball and get him to flinch, and Jason didn't flinch. So that reloads him for Chipper, who's that right-handed.
Yeah, this is one of those ones as a hitter, you don't ever want to get hit, but he's not throwing mid-90s. I think your sense of urgency to get out of the way isn't quite as much as it might otherwise be.
Especially behind in the count, too. So Chipper gets to hit with the bases loaded. He has not hit a grand slam since 2001.
There you go.
He's due. Takes a slow breaking ball. Chipper's 0 for 3 today. 6 slams in his career. Chance to blow this one wide open. No shift on for Jones. They play it straight up. They'd like to get a ground ball and have a chance for a double play up the middle. Line, base hit out over second. That's going to plate 2. Hayward races around to third. He rounds third, but he'll hold there, and Chipper comes through with a 2-run single. 7-2 Atlanta.
Backdoor breaking ball. Caught a little bit of the plate. Chipper, a couple other base hits today from the guys. Got just enough of it to loop it out there into the outfield and increase the Braves' lead. And that's certainly not what Milwaukee was envisioning. Stetter in to find Jason, to face Jason Hayward, to get a wild pitch right off the bat and then hit batter and having to face Chipper.
Not the way they had it drawn up. McCann's 1 for 3 with an RBI, and he dodges a breaking ball. Drove in his 15th run of the year with a single in the third with 2 out. He sends one to deep right center. On the run is Kotze. He's there. He'll make the catch. But Hayward tags, and he'll score easily. And Brian McCann already back in the dugout with another RBI. 8-2 Atlanta.
It's a similar situation the Braves had earlier in this homestand, where they took a lead in a ball game and then just kind of kept adding on, a run here, a run there, and that's what you want to try and do in these situations. You want to, every opportunity you get, just try and add on, make it that much more difficult for the team in the other dugout to make a comeback, and certainly not be able to do it with one swing of the bat.
Having some fun in the dugout in game 1. Dan Uggla would like to join the party. He's 0 for 3. Everyone among the position players, in fact, the pitcher Tommy Hansen had a hit too. Everybody's got a hit except for Uggla and Hayward, but Hayward has a walk and he's been hit by a pitch. .76-mile-an-hour breaking ball makes it 0-2.
Tough pitch for a righty to hit. That thing looks like it's starting so far off the plate.
Struck him out. Braves add to their lead 4 across in the 6th, and we head to the 7th. Atlanta up 8-2. An 8-2 as we go to the top half of the 7th inning. About hit them 9-3 already, and now time for our AT call to the bullpen. Tommy Hansen's day is over. He worked 6 strong innings. And on to pitch now Eric O'Flaherty, who's been outstanding lately.
Yeah, he's been really good, making his 16th appearance on the year, 1-1 on the season with a 1.29 ERA. And opponent's batting average, pretty good, 212. But he's been throwing the ball really well. He's been dominant his last couple times out, and really starting to pick up the slack for that middle inning hole that they have right now with Peter Moylan being on the disabled list.
He's only allowed 1 run in his last 9 appearances, none in his last 4. Carlos Gomez will hit for Kotze. Flaherty's first pitch to him is bounced past Chipper. Fair ball down the line. Gomez can really run. He rounds second, but he'll stop there with a leadoff double.
First pitch swinging, got a fastball that kind of coming in towards him a little bit, and was able to hook that down the line. In the corner for an easy stand-up double.
Jonathan Lucroy will be the batter. He's 0 for 2. He's struck out and grounded out. The outfield shallow and a little toward right for Lucroy. It's one of those odd times, Tommy, where as great as O'Flaherty has been lately, this is not a time to be concerned about your ERA. You just want outs.
Yeah, his job right now is to get through this inning, maybe one more, and keep the Braves in a situation where they don't have to use Kimball or Venters here in this first game.
Off the thumbs, that might drop. Nope, Alex out there to get it. A broken bat. Pop up caught by Alex for the first out of the inning. Fans of Braves and the Salvation Army are partnering to support storm victims throughout the Southeast. Volunteers will collect funds and needed items at Braves home games through May 17th. You can also text GIVE to 80888 to donate $10 to the Salvation Army Tornado Disaster Relief Effort. And for more info, visit braves.com/donate. You should know, too, that the Braves have partnered with the Salvation Army and their flagship radio station, 680 The Fan, and Rock 100.5, their corporate partners and minor league teams, and have donated $100,000 already to the Salvation Army for those tornado relief efforts.
And a lot of good stories of people stepping up and doing a lot of good things. Help those people out that have been through a lot.
Unieski Betancourt hits for Counsell.
I heard a story on the radio yesterday that a lady started a Facebook page to try and help people identify things that have been lost because she had found a picture of a sonogram of a baby, a pregnant mom.
No kidding.
And was trying to find out who owned it, and next thing she knew, there's 87,000 people on the page.
That's great.
There was somebody who, if I'm not mistaken, there was a picture that was returned, some pictures that were returned to somebody that was over 300 miles away.
No fooling.
Yeah, so it was a pretty interesting story.
It was just, the stories are just awful about the destruction, so it's a wonderful thing about so many people stepping up, including the Braves and the Salvation Army. Two and one to Betancourt, who will probably start in game 2. Counsell was 1 for 2 today in his start with an RBI, his first RBI of the year. Another soft pop caught by Ugla. So O'Flaherty's getting in on some hands. 2 down. And Corey Hart is going to hit for Stetter. He just came off the disabled list a few days ago after suffering an oblique injury.
Might have been a time last year where they were thinking about getting rid of this guy.
He was just awful early in the season. Wound up hitting .283 with 31 homers and 102 RBIs. And he drove in 90 runs from May 15th through the end of the season.
I'd say that's catching fire a little bit.
Only Carlos Gonzalez of the Rockies drove in more with 91 over that same period. After the leadoff double, Eric O'Flaherty making some good pitches. He's ahead 1-2. Struck him out. Nice comeback by Eric after the leadoff double by Gomez. A good inning of work. We go to the 7th inning stretch. Braves up by 6. Leading 8-2 as we go to the bottom of the 7th. And here's our McDonald's fan of the game. King decked out for the sunshine today with her sombrero.
Should have brought a sweatshirt. It's cold out there.
Might have been a good idea. Some defensive changes for the Brewers as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Unieski Betancourt stays in the game to play shortstop. Gomez stays in the game to play center field, and Niger Morgan moves from center to right field. And Sean Green is on to pitch. He worked an inning and a third here Monday night and retired all 4 batters he faced. Out of Orlando. I beg your pardon, not out of Orlando, Florida. He is out of Louisville, Kentucky. 6'6", 230.
Another kind of specialist kind of guy, side armor, sinker, curveball. A lot of movement parts, a lot of things to eliminate if you're a hitter to find the ball.
And Freddie Freeman will lead off in the seventh. He's 1 for 3. Scott Linebrink begins to loosen up in the Atlanta pen in case the Braves get to the pitcher spot.
I'm sure in this game, O'Flaherty's thinking, come on, Freddie, let me hit.
And maybe he will.
Haven't you seen the batting practice I've been taking lately?
That's off of LaCroix. And it hurt.
That never feels good, but it really can't feel good in an 8-2 game. Yeah, right off the toe.
Yeah, you're down 8-2. You're 0 for 3. The wind's blowing in your face all day, and you get one of those. 2-1. Cincinnati won today. They beat Houston 3-2 and got back to 500 after their loss last night. They dropped below 500 for the first time in over a year.
It's hard to believe, but they've had they got some good talent over there. They got some good arms. I think they're gonna make some noise all season long in that division.
2-2. Full count. Alex Gonzalez on deck. 1 out of 3. First game of a doubleheader from Turner Field. Braves up 8-2. Tim Hudson and Zach Greinke in the second game. O'Flaherty gave up a leadoff double in the top of this inning, but retired the next 3. Doesn't look like he's looking for a helmet or a bat just yet. To the right side, he might have to now, though. Freddie has snapped out of it with a 2-hit game. The Braves lost 3 out of 4 in Milwaukee by not hitting much at all, Tom. Things have turned around a little.
Yeah, they have. They're making the most of their opportunities. 14 runs on 20 base hits. They're taking advantage of getting guys on base. They've had some opportunities today via the walk and hit batter, and they've lost to pay for it.
Well, that's their 10th hit, and we talked about that in our opening comments about the last 10 games. The offense is showing signs of coming around and averaging over 5 runs a game. And they have 8 here so far in game 1.
Yeah, the way this pitching staff's throwing the ball, you give them 5 runs a night, they're going to win a whole bunch of ball games.
Yeah, I like their chances. Well, off the other foot of LaCroix. You don't even know which way to limp now. All you can do is laugh about it.
Oh, he's got his bag gloves on. He's inching closer.
Yeah. Getting his pants ready, making sure they're where they're supposed to be.
Maybe Freddie hasn't quite made up his mind what he's going to do yet, so Eric's trying to do a few things to see if he can't have a little bit of influence on the decision.
Hit hard to center. Carlos Gomez has a beat on it though and makes the catch. One out for Nate McLeod, who's been on base 3 times today. Doubled and scored in the 3rd, walked in the 4th, and reached on an error and scored in the 6th. Oh, what a tough break. Well, he's got the helmet. Hinsky's in the on-deck circle. Maybe that's just a deke to scare the Brewers a little bit. Nate takes a strike. Missed inside, 1-1. He's got his secret bat. It's a little bit like Honus Wagner standing there.
Once he comes out of that dugout, that's where the similarities stop. Those hammies loose in case he wants to turn on one.
2-1 to Nate. Line to middle, up the middle for a base hit. Yeah. First and second. With an RBI chance, Eric Hinsky's going to be the guy.
I don't know if ever had a chance of getting in the batter's box, but I didn't like his chances if there were two guys on in the inning.
No. Nate McLouth on base for the 4th time today. He's had a good game. There's the numbers for Hinsky. 3 for 14 as a pinch hitter with a homer.
Might be a tune-up for him for game 2.
Shift done for him. Betancourt right behind Freeman out there at second base. Practically chasing Hinsky. Braves now with 11 hits, only 4 for Milwaukee. 1-2. Looking to go over 500. A record 15-15. Another one way inside. The last time the Braves were over 500 was April 5th at Milwaukee. They were 3-2.
Well, that's what you got to try and do right now is just get to 500, separate yourself from 500. Then you can start worrying about where you are in the division and all those things.
Hinsky down on strikes. 2 outs for Martin Prado, who's 2 for 4 today. He's our Toyota play of the game on this 2-run single.
Yeah, he's had a good game. He's been swinging the bat well, and he does a lot of things to help this team win. And certainly, I know to see his RBI production today was a welcome sight for everybody. And Martin as well.
Raised his average 15 points in this game up to 267.
It's the beauty of this time of year when you don't have too many at bats.
Now, once you start approaching that 200 at bat level, it starts getting harder and harder to move it. 2 on, 2 out. 1-1 to Prado. Linebrink was throwing in the Braves bullpen. We expect to see him in the 8th. Top of the order due up for Milwaukee. Looks like Scott's ready to go. Braves catching core leading the National League in RBIs in that position. And McCann's driven in 2 more today.
David Ross is telling him I have more home runs than you do.
Martin knew it. Inning over. Sean Green leaves a couple of Braves on the sacks. He played 7. Atlanta up by 6. We go to the 8th inning, and a reminder that Delta Airlines is a proud sponsor of the Atlanta Braves. And as we go to the 8th, here's our AT call to the bullpen. Scott Linebrink on to work in the 8th inning.
Pitched 2/3 of a scoreless inning here against St. Louis over the weekend. He's on for the 15th time this year. No record of 4.82 ERA. Like to get that opponent's batting average down, I'm sure, but his job right now, get through these next 2 innings, save the rest of that bullpen, and go get him in the nightcap.
He's not allowed to run in any of his last 3 outings. And faces the top of the order. Ricky Weeks 0 for 2 with a walk. Fastball to the backstop. This good hitting Brewers team only has 4 hits today. They only had 7 in game 1 Monday night when the Braves won that one 6-2.
Well, unlike the Cardinals series, the Braves have done a good job of containing the 2 big guys in the middle of this lineup, but like they did in the Cardinals series, but they've also done a nice job of containing the other guys, which they didn't do so well in the Cardinals series.
3-1 to Weeks. He'll be followed by Niger Morgan and then Ryan Braun. That's out of play. Full count. Payoff pitch to right center, slicing away from Nate. That's going to get down for an extra base hit. Weeks is at second. He's going to go for 3, and he'll make it. A leadoff triple.
Good piece of hitting right there. Fastball out over the plate. Kept his head down and drove that into the right center field gap. That ball just kind of kept chasing away from Nate. He couldn't catch up to it. And with Ricky's speed, he had an easy stand-up triple.
Nigel Morgan's 0 for 3. Fights that one off. Ricky Weeks, when he was in college at Southern, in consecutive years in college, he hit .495 at Southern University. And then in 2003, he hit .479. Aluminum bat or not, that's incredible.
That's still pretty good numbers. Yeah. What round was he drafted in?
First.
First round pick?
Mm-hmm. And he was the second overall pick in the draft.
And the first that year was?
That was 03. And Laser Baker's going to have to tell us who the first pick was in 03.
Better be pretty good if they've gotten a better return than Milwaukee has on their pick.
Nigel Morgan stays alive. Delman Young was the first pick that year. Advantage Brewers. Didn't go. And Delman Young's a good player.
Yeah.
But has not established himself as an everyday player like Ricky Weeks. Again, the appeal. He didn't go. Full count.
Didn't go the first time. Tried to get him go the second time. He didn't on that one either.
Third time's charm. He did swing, but he got a piece of it. Tim Hudson and Zach Greinke in game 2. 30 minutes after the completion of this one.
It's barely enough time to eat.
That'll get the run in. One out, 8-3. Third RBI of the year for Morgan.
Like we talked about the inning before with O'Flaherty, it's not a time to get selfish and try and keep that run from scoring. At this stage of the game, you're trading runs for outs, and you save the rest of that bullpen.
Ryan Braun trying to extend his streak to 29 games of reaching safely. But he's 0 for 3 today. He's flied out twice and grounded out once. There's strike 2-1. A lot of guys coming out of the bullpen these days just work out of the stretch. Linebrink is one who doesn't. In the air to right. Hayward, a long run. Wind pushing it away from him. And did he make the catch? He did. Ryan Braun is 0 for 4. Nice play by Hayward.
Yeah, with that wind blowing the way it's blowing, that ball just keeps going and going, and Jason stayed with it and did a nice job of getting that wrist out of the way and not crashing into that wall.
Good point. Prince Fielder has homered. He's also lined out and struck out. And I think he was thinking homer again.
I think he was. That wasn't the, hey, let's just get a base hit and start a 2-out rally swing.
No, it wasn't. Brewers led this game 1-0, and they scored in the top of the second. But the Braves took the lead in the third, put a couple of runs across 2-1, and then Fielder immediately tied it up with a leadoff homer in the fourth. Five for 21 on the year against Atlanta with that one homer. Toward left center, long run again for McLeod, but Prado, not sure where Nate was, makes the catch while falling down. He saw Nate closing fast and put on the brakes, but still made the catch. Nice play by Prado to stay with it. Brewers get a run. We go to the bottom of the eighth. Braves up by 5. Header here at Turner Field after the rain out last night. Joe Simpson and Tom Glavine with you. Glad you're with us today and hope you'll stick around for game 2.
I hope so. We are, so they might as well. I mean, what else does everybody else have to do tonight?
The Braves hang on to win. You don't get a chance to go for the sweep too often, and they've already done that once this year.
That's right. So, I mean, Braves are playing good baseball, pitching well, starting to hit. A lot of good things going on, so stick around and watch.
Sergio Mitre, the fourth pitcher used by Ron Renicky. He's in his 10th game. Some Mitre a lot in his travels in baseball, mostly in Florida. And Jason Hayward greets him, but hooks it foul. Nice play.
Nice
ball boy. Best fielding ball boys in baseball.
I tell you what, they were even better back in the Chris Van Zandt days.
Yeah.
Chris was still out there on the field.
A drive to center. Gomez got turned the wrong way, and he'll have to play that one off the wall. Hayward's at second with a double, and that was a rocket.
Well, he hit a rocket to the bat boy. And then, as so many people say, straighten that one out. So he did. Hit a rocket over the center fielder's head. And had it not been for this wind, the ball might have been in the seats.
Yeah. Chipper with another RBI opportunity. He's 1 for 4 today. Yes, he did. 1-1. Chipper 4 for 6 with a double against Mitre.
You never know with those two swings.
No, you wouldn't.
Those two pretty good pitches right there.
0-2.
Maybe this is where he's having trouble getting the 2-strike pitch in there.
Got him from the Yankees March 25th, right at the end of spring training, in exchange for outfielder Chris Dickerson. He missed some time last year with a left oblique strain. Just about a month when he was with the Yankees.
A lot of oblique strains in baseball. Guys must be doing too many sit-ups.
Did you ever have? You had a rib thing though, didn't you?
I had a cracked rib there one year.
Dove flew on the field and scared everybody to death. Hayward at second with a leadoff double. No argument from Chipper. Another good pitch from Mitre, and he's got a strikeout.
There's 3 pretty good pitches in that sequence.
That's the 9th strikeout for Brewers pitchers in this game. 5 by Estrada. But he's on the line for the loss. And McCann's had a good game. 1 for 3 with a sacrifice fly. His base hit in the 3rd inning was a 2-out RBI single. And hit his sacrifice fly off Mitch Stetter, a side-arming lefty.
Continues to produce when he's got the opportunity to drive some runs in.
Eddie Gonzalez has got to be pleased with the improvement in his offense. It gives the manager a little breathing room. good hard sinker. 1-2.
Yeah, I don't think it's coincidental either that we're starting to talk more and more about the starting rotation and what those guys are doing and the games they're putting together, because there's a trickle-down effect. When your offense is starting to swing it, as a starting pitcher, you go out there and know that, hey, I give up a run or two. These guys are scoring 5 a night. I still got a good chance of winning this thing, so you take a little bit of pressure off yourself.
2-2 to McCann. That was not the case earlier in the year when guys were trying real hard not to give up one.
Yeah, it's tough when you feel like if you give up one run, you're going to have a tough time winning.
Full count to Brian as he has fought his way back after being behind in the count. 1 out, runner at second. It's Hayward. He led off the inning with a double off the center field wall. Just his 4th double to go with a triple and 7 homers. Not sure what's going on here unless they're. What's Gary Cedarstrom doing?
I don't know what they're looking at.
They might be discussing the count. Yeah, 3-2. They may have been kind of replaying that hole at bat. And the payoff pitch to Brian McCann. Good cut, foul back. Cubs beat the Dodgers today 5-1. Carlos Zambrano, his 4th win. He beat his former teammate Ted Lilly. Took a little off on that pitch, but Brian still got a piece of it. Saw more fans out there in the center field plaza as more folks are making their way into the ballpark, getting ready for game 2. Ball 4 to McCann. Good at bat. First and second for Ugla, who could use a hit. He's 0 for 4. Struck out twice.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see him join the party and end this game feeling good and build on what he's been doing at the plate lately.
He and Mitre were teammates in Florida, so he has never faced him before.
Getting a steady dose of first pitch sliders.
Foul past Brian Snitker. 1-1. If you weren't with us Monday night, mentioned that Larry Parrish, in working with Dan Ugla, was trying to get him to concentrate just mostly on the center part of the diamond, from right center to left center, and not be quite so pull happy. It's been working too.
It has. He's been swinging the bat well.
They used to be.
I don't think that one was as close as everybody thought it was. I think that was the case of Dan looking for something out away from him a little bit and not getting it.
Popped it up. Weeks wants it out in shallow right. He's got it. Infield fly rule called. 2 down. And Freddie Freeman will be the batter. He's had a 2-hit game. 2 singles, 2 for 4. It's a good spot to be here at the ballpark right now, is sitting in the sun.
Yeah, if there's any patch of warmth, they're in it. I think some of these folks with the short sleeves on are going to be a little cold.
Now, the temperatures are supposed to dip a little bit here for game 2. Temperatures in the 50s and might even dip a little below that by the time we're finished with game 2. So, like those folks, come prepared.
Good thing we got our jacket and tie for the next game, so we stay
Well,
warm,
yeah,
right?
In case, yeah, like maybe need it as a scarf.
Right.
One and 2 to Freeman.
Of course, the Brewers are probably thinking, this is nice.
Yeah. Nobody will have sleeves on. Although over there in the shade of the dugout, the manager and coaches have their jackets on. And it's always colder when you're down 5 in the 8th.
Yeah, the coaches are a little older, so their blood's thinned out, and you know how that is.
What do you mean?
Well,
I know what that is.
I mean,
2 and 2.
It wasn't a
2 and
statement,
2.
it was a question.
2 and 2. 2 outs, 2 on.
I'm not far behind, my friend.
Jason double to lead off the inning. McCann drew a walk. Nowhere near full count. Runners will be moving. And if Jason's not careful, Brian will run right up his back. So he better not.
Yeah.
He better not slow down.
Better get a good jump. Good secondary lead.
There they go. And it's ball 4. So they're loaded for Alex Gonzalez. That's the manager making this trip to the mound. That's not for consultation. That's for the pitcher to do some listening.
Yeah, that's all about, come on, be aggressive, get in the strike zone. Let's get through this inning. Stop nibbling, all those things.
That's his 4th and 5th walks in 10 2/3 innings. Alex with a bases clearing double already in this homestand. Now batting with the bases loaded. He's hit in 5 straight. Jason Hayward's just glad to have a different view from third base now instead of second. He was at second base for 12 minutes, I'm told, by the truck.
Yeah, he was there a while.
Schnitker handles the hot shot. Brian bailed me out last night.
Did he?
After the rain out, go out to leave, and battery was dead.
Oh.
It's always nice standing there in the rain with the battery dead, and Brian came out, brought his pickup over, and we got it cranked up anyway. That should be out of play. Fielder over to have a look, and it's behind the tarp.
He's able to send all those runners home for third. He was able to send you home from the parking lot.
See, you're getting this,
right?
You're
right.
really getting this.
Did he flash through some signals before he put the cables on? Or?
Yeah, he said, "I'm not even sure how to open this hood. I've never opened it before." How did he get to that ball?
I don't know. And hit it that hard.
Yeah.
I don't know how he didn't hit it on his knuckles.
Man.
I mean, that's just. What hands there? That's what you're supposed to do with an inside pitch. Bring your hands in.
He's smelling some RBIs. He's got 13 on the year. He might have some more, but the ball stays up, and a nice sliding catch out there by Ryan Braun. To end the inning, Braves threaten. They leave them loaded. We go to the ninth. McGee, Gomez, and Lucroy due up. First game of this doubleheader. They lead it 8-3. And as we go to the ninth, it's time for our AT call to the bullpen once more. Corey Guerin will come on to try to finish it up.
Coming into pitching his 5th game of the season. Last pitched on May the 1st against St. Louis. 0-1 with a 4.76 ERA. Had a tough outing the other day against St. Louis. Had an opportunity to get out of that inning that he was in and wasn't able to make a pitch, and suffered his first blown save of the year. I like him, though. I like his makeup. I like how he goes about it. You know, I think he's going to continue to learn some things about himself and pitches that he's capable of making.
Yeah, that rally started, I think, with a hit batsman.
Yeah, I think so.
And then a walk, and then the hit. Got the 2 runs in, so he's got a chance here with a 5-run lead to be aggressive. And Casey McGee will lead off the inning. McGee is 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. Bounces that one up the middle. Here's Ugla again. Is he going to get him? Oh, his foot slipped, or he might have gotten him. If Dan's right foot had planted and held, he'd have gotten McGee. Instead, it's an infield hit.
Yeah, he got there, similar to that play he made the other day, and that back foot just didn't quite hold for him, and thankfully it didn't slide much more than it did, or he might have ripped the groin.
Dan's got a good arm, too. So the leadoff man aboard for Carlos Gomez, who led off the 7th with a pinch hit double that was stranded. Tim Hudson, Zach Greinke, game 2. Big cut. 1-2.
That pitch might have looked good to him, but he wasn't going to do anything with that.
That was definitely under the category of swing hard in case you hit it. And he missed that one too. Strikeout for Guerin. That's 9 strikeouts for Braves pitchers today. Hansen struck out 7 in his 6 innings. He stands to improve to 4-3. Jonathan Lucroy looking for his first hit of the day. He's 0 for 3 in game 1. His feet are probably still barking from those back-to-back foul tips he took.
I was going to say he's got a couple of busted up toes. Girl's not real happy with the location of the sun right now.
Like they've got their all-star ballots, though. Voting has begun. Vote early, vote often.
Either that or they're doing their, what was it, Karnak, the magician from Johnny Carson?
Hermetically sealed. Good breaking ball, 2-2. I don't care if you're a major league hitter or not. It's hard to hang in there when that ball's thrown right at you.
Yeah, that's kind of become the new pitch. That front door slider where they start it right at your front elbow and you can't help but bail on it.
Might be 2. Ugla bobbles, but they get the lead runner. No problem. Got 1. 2 down for Betancourt. Betancourt pinch hit in the 7th, and he popped up. Two out in the 9th. Got to be 3 out in the 9th. McLeod puts it away, and the Braves win game 1. Put it away with a 4-run 6th inning and win the 2nd in a row against Milwaukee. 8-3 Atlanta. We'll be back with more right after this.